is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that?
Welcome to the Friday pod. It is me, star of stage and screen, Kate Ritchie here. Wippa's here as well.
Hey, the beast from the east.
And Fitzy is...
That's me.
That's actually Lizzie.
Because I'm the
here.
shortest.
Producer Jess. Do you know what happened this morning? Forgot to record the podcast intro, guys.
Oh, no.
Can you believe that?
It's a Friday. Everyone was out of here.
Exactly. That's not a problem, though, because what happens when the talent head off? The ground team stay behind.
The better team.
Exactly, Lizzie. Couldn't have said it better myself. Podcast today, they did a great break on air, which you're going to hear in the potty. Did it take them too long to propose?
Oh, yeah.
We have some cracking stories on this one as well.
They were really good.
Like the amount of years.
Some of them. Yeah.
Insane. You're going to hear all of that in the podcast. And actually, can we make one little request? Can you head to the Fitzy Wippa Kate Instagram, slide into the team's DMs and say, much prefer the intro with Jess, Ollie and Lizzie, and we'll make sure the team see all of that.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
So, you know how some people claim, I can see ghosts?
Yeah.
Or I've seen a ghost. Quite often when we hit this topic, and this is perfect for Halloween, there are people that swear by the fact that they have seen a ghost.
Yeah.
Would anybody, besides Tom Ivy, because he looks in the mirror, has anybody else put their hand up in the room here and said, I've seen a ghost? You would have, Kate.
I think
I've been in the presence of...
a ghost. You've been ghosted. That's different.
Sorry. That's when she wouldn't call me back.
Yeah. I do think that I have been in a room at night where I have a reoccurring... I did have. It's not a house that I live in anymore. There was a woman in there. And quite frightening.
That's May. She's your daughter.
No.
She's not a woman. Maybe it was Annie the dog.
It wasn't any of those things. There was a real sense of, oh, she's there. And very scary.
I've never felt it before, and I've told you the story besides when I stayed at a mate's place in New Zealand. And I've never, ever felt like this or believed in ghosts or spirits or presence until this one time. And Lisa and I had just started dating, so this was a long time ago.
Gosh, so she's just seen a ghost as well when you took that top off.
And it was after night 3 that she turned to me and said, do you know what? Something just feels really funny about this place. And I said, I'm so glad you said that because I didn't want to look weak and say something doesn't feel right here. But it doesn't at all.
Was it just the two of you there?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
The footsteps, the feeling.
Really?
The hot. Couldn't sleep at night. It was so confronting. We moved to a hotel.
Did you?
Yep.
Wow.
And then I found
What
out.
about the poor ghost? He just wanted to get to know you guys.
Then I found out the guy who had designed the house, he was a bit of a party animal. His name was Six Pill Phil. And he died on the toilet in the house.
You made that up.
No, I did not.
Like Elvis style.
Pill Phil.
Yeah, Six Pill Phil.
Well, at least he went out with a bang. I
Or the
suppose.
heart.
Did he really die on the toilet?
Yeah, on
And
the
did they
throne.
bury him under the
I don't
floorboards
know.
or
So
something?
what was he doing? Was he there trying to keep... Was he partying in one of the other rooms?
I've
or was
stayed
he-
there since. And I walk in now and go, hey, Phil, we're here. And I know you're here. It's okay.
It's-
And then, how's
It's
this?
Lucky Phil.
The guy who owns the house.
Unlucky Phil, it turns out.
The guy who owns the house, I told him about this and he went, shut up, you're talking rubbish. He's then lying in bed and he hears this huge bang in the middle of the night.
And it's Phil. He fell over on the dance floor.
So he goes... It was a creeper. He's then found himself in the bathroom. He looks down and goes, what's all that water on the floor? It wasn't water, it was glass. The shower screen had shattered
Phil...
next to the toilet. where
He
Phil
walked into the
died.
shower screen. Phil. What?
How weird is that? Has your shower screen ever shattered at home?
No.
No.
Shower screens don't shatter.
Yes, they do, mate. It's
Well,
a common
Has
thing.
anyone ever had a shower screen shatter?
It could...
Yes?
Don't say yes, Maddie, if you have, because it ruins my story. Turn her mic
now
off,
she's
Jess.
not going to tell the story.
Okay. Well, the point I was saying is that some people can see ghosts because they have these moments where they find it's a rhythm that your heart can create.
Yeah.
And it connects you with the past life. And that's the only time. So maybe it was the fact that we were on a holiday and we were relaxed. My heart found the rhythm of the ghost.
What?
Certainly a different rhythm to bloody Six Pill
Well,
Phil's.
Phil, I mean, if you found Phil's rhythm, it would have been techno.
I would have been. I would have
Come
become
on,
the ghost.
pump it up. You got to pump it up.
Phil, I'm trying to sleep in here, Phil.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Let's talk about love and marriage. I don't know if it's the time of the week to do it. Maybe you're heading into the weekend and the big proposal is on the cards.
Maybe you got a date tonight.
Maybe you've got a date tonight and you have an engagement ring burning a hole in your pocket.
And your bank account.
But how long has it taken you to get to that point? And that's what we want to chat about. 13 24 10. How long have you been waiting for the proposal? I mean, maybe you're the woman and you're waiting for the ring on the finger. Maybe you're a fella who's like, oh, I know I have to ask the question, and it's not always the men who have to do it. Traditionally, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's
Can I give you an equation?
10 years down the track. I think in some ways that
What was
means
Andy
you just
Lee?
don't want to get married.
We just spoke about Andy.
It's got to be 10 years, wasn't it,
Andy
Andy?
was 10. I felt like the more that people spoke about it, the more he pushed it away.
Well, because you don't want to do it, Ben.
No.
It's like, I'm going to ask on my own account. I'm not going to do it because Mum wants me to do it or the public wants me to do it.
I've written an equation. A, which is age.
Andy. Oh.
No, age. Plus proposal equals expectation of proposal. So what I'm saying is...
What's the proposal bit? So
You mean the expectation of what?
As you get older
Yeah.
and you're with that partner for a longer period of time...
Pressure builds.
Your expectation becomes high very quickly. It's like your insurance policy when you tick over 65, it goes straight up.
What?
Okay, good.
That's a proper analogy, Kate Ritchie.
Yeah,
Because
well,
if
you know
someone
what-
is getting older,
Yeah.
like my sister is particular and still talks about the fact that her man Cam didn't propose for a long time, and then she suggests that they had trouble making babies because she was older when they did and she wanted to be married first.
Well, yeah.
Are we live? Can we edit that personal story out?
No.
Because she'll lose her mind over that. But that's a big consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. 13, 24, 10 if you're in that situation. Quite often people break up after 10 years. You think you're going to get married and then, you don't think that person wants to get married. And then, 6 months, 12 months later, they are pregnant and they're having a baby with someone else. We're talking about it because I read this story on the internet, and this guy, and he's blaming his personal, journey, suffers with
Sure.
anxiety and ADHD. He didn't know what to do. He was with this woman for 10 years. He finally built up the courage and found that he was in the right place to ask. He asked, and she said, no. It's taken you too.
Oh, my God.
It's taken you too long. And you know what I feel like now? I always thought I wanted to say yes and that I wanted you to ask
You've
me.
ruined it.
But now I realise I'm the woman that it took 10 years for you to find it within yourself to ask.
Well, that could...
That
my
is
gosh.
heartbreaking.
Some people are on his side, some people aren't. I mean, I do get both sides, and you don't want to be
my
pressured into
gosh.
anything. There's nothing worse than asking someone to get married and then realising you shouldn't have done it in the first place.
Tanika in Hurstville. How long has it been, Tanika?
9 years.
Oh.
My mum's been waiting 9 years.
Have you spoken about marriage quite a bit? No.
No.
So, you've been 9 years, but have you spoken about being married and having children, Tanika? Have you dropped any clues?
We have, but he still hasn't dropped the question.
Do you want to get married to this person?
Oh, of course.
Does he want to get married to you?
Yeah. He actually rang up, I think it was during the week, to be honest.
To win Coldplay tickets? Or rang you? Or us?
No. He rang you guys.
Yeah.
I think it was for the Kid Leroy
Yeah.
ticket.
Yep.
It's Jamie. And
Oh, my
we've got
God.
7 kids.
Oh, yes. Okay, so you're not married.
You don't need to get married, love.
Don't
You're
worry
not going
about the
anywhere.
ring.
You've just had twins, Tanika.
Yes, that's correct, yeah.
Yeah, Bryson and Dyson, was it? What
Why
were
do
your
you
kids'
sound
names?
so happy?
Because it's just, that's life. That's what we've been dealt with. And
Oh, you're
I can-
amazing.
I can understand you pushing it back because you're having kids all the time, Tanika, though, so you got to focus on them.
of course.
What a waste of
9
money.
years and no ring.
Hey, Tanika, we were celebrating your kids and the names of your kids too. Could you go from the top? Could you give us the 7 names quickly?
Yeah, of course. So Harley, Layla, Leilani, Tristan, Kiana, Bryson, and Brantley.
Oh, that is
Grayson and Brantley.
Tanika, and you were picking up the oldies from a Bali trip the other
Oh,
day,
it's all
and
happening.
you guys are on
So
fire.
Jamie won the tickets to Coldplay, yeah?
yeah,
Yeah, and Kid
And
Leroy.
Kid Leroy.
We're going to be meeting Tanika very soon. Leave the kids at home.
Tanika, he'd be mad if he doesn't propose at Coldplay.
Oh, could you imagine?
Or Kid Leroy. What about Kid Leroy in front of 500
Oh, my
people at
gosh.
Selena's?
Ashley and Cherrybrook, how long did you take your man, Ash?
It took him 9 years.
Ash, why the long time?
I'm not really sure. We'd bought a house together and we talk about having kids together. We wanted a boy and a girl, and we had like the whole idea, but just marriage just never came up.
Okay, maybe it's not a big thing in your world.
Is he an unromantic guy, Ash, or...?
No, he's so romantic.
Yeah.
Do you want to get
So I
married?
think it was the pressure.
Yeah, it's the pressure.
It was the pressure. The
Are you
pressure was
engaged
pushing
now?
him back.
We've been married 10 years next week.
Fantastic. And do you have a boy and a girl?
We do have a boy and a girl.
Oh, how's your picket fence and golden retriever?
It's amazing. We don't have a dog. We don't have a
Okay, well,
dog.
No,
That's
don't
next.
get it. Don't get a dog. Everyone must be
No,
so...
my daughter's petrified.
Yeah, everyone driving along. So happy for you that life turned out exactly the way you
Yeah, we
planned.
couldn't be happy for you, Ash.
Steve in Penrith, you're about to get on one knee, Steve. Is this correct?
Yeah, I'm just getting the right moment, I suppose. I was
Steve, this is good.
just thinking about it. Like, I've been thinking about it, though. There's been a couple of times, like, people have been pressuring me and going, oh, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You know, I'm like, I don't know. And,
How long, Steve? How long's it been?
7.5 years.
Ooh,
Steve, do you know what you need to say to those people? Every time they ask, say, every time you ask me, the less likely I am to
Yeah,
do it.
you delay
Because these
me.
people need to know that that is not encouragement.
Back
It's
off.
actually putting you off, and it's doing her a disservice, and both of you a disservice.
Steve, outside of people questioning you, is there anything else that's held you back over the years?
I just the our lives,
Yeah.
like, we're have two different families, like, kind of thing. So it's
right.
like kids are not old enough now.
Yeah, sure.
My kids are young, so they're like, I don't want to put them through that. I mean, I've been
Put them
married
through
already
marriage.
before, so I don't want to do it again.
So this would be
Too
a
soon.
blended family.
Right, okay, but you love her, don't you, Steve?
Oh, of course. Yeah. And it's her birthday today.
Oh, great.
Steve,
Do
I
you
don't
wanna
wanna-
share-
So that's why I'm at that point where I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Maybe you need to take the pressure out of
And
it and
I've
just...
got already a dinner booked and stuff. So yeah,
Have you got
I
a
love
ring?
that. Have you,
I do.
Jess, have you got some Beyonce in the system? A little
And
bit to put a ring on it?
Is tonight the night you sound really...
Steve.
You sound like you're about to vomit.
So you got a table at the Panthers tonight, did you, Steve? They're not booked out?
No. It's actually somewhere else. It's in the city location.
Ooh.
So, Steve, are you on tonight? Like, are we pulling the trigger on this or what?
And I was thinking of, if I got the Coldplay or the
Here we go.
or the other tickets, then I'll be
Steve, you don't even have a girlfriend, do you?
I do.
No, I love
Okay.
it, Steve.
Steve, you are in the running. Have your phone on before the end of the show. We're only 20 minutes, half an hour away before we give away those tickets. Michelle in Macquarie Fields, was it worth the wait, Michelle?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. How long did you wait?
About 10 years between us.
That's
And how heavy were you on sort of suggesting that it would be a nice thing to happen?
I asked, and then when he actually proposed, he handed me the ring box and he goes, "Here, I hope you like this."
Oh, that's...
Michelle.
There's many words I wanted to say, Michelle, but we are live on the radio.
But that...
Did you give it back and say, hey, let's try that again? Let's go from the top, shall we?
In the bottom driveway to the right. Yeah, sorry, I'm in the
did she
Uber.
say?
Oh, she's in the Uber.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but see...
No, because it's the way he is. Yeah.
So Michelle, I'm
That's
just
lazy.
looking at the screen here. He took 10 years to propose. How long did it take for you guys to get married?
We've been together 17 years this year and got married in January.
So it took another 7 years.
Do you still love him, Michelle?
Yeah. We were meant to be married in 2017, but...
COVID.
No, not COVID. Family situations. He lost his dad, and then a year later he lost his mum, both to cancer.
Yeah,
Well, there's a
okay.
message, isn't it, Michelle, that, life is fragile, so celebrate it by getting married and not
Yeah,
bloody
that's
waiting. I'm angry.
We were, like I said, due to be married in January in 2017,
Yeah.
but it was with everything. I said, look, we'll cancel the wedding, give you money to help with the funeral,
Yeah.
and then use the rest for a family holiday.
Yeah.
And then,
Life can get in the way. And look, a party, an expensive party,
Yeah, it's true.
doesn't...
we actually got married for less than $1,000.
Oh, good effort.
Well, that's
amazing.
That's great effort. But to wait 10 years to be proposed
Michelle.
to, and then wait another 7 years after that to get married.
Here's the box. Hope you like it.
Well, you know what? So not everyone is traditionally, they don't.
Okay.
They struggle being vulnerable. Okay, that's what I'm going to say.
Justine in Mount Annan, how long's it been for you, Justine?
Oh, almost 19 years.
Oh, holy smokes.
Are you not
Justine.
engaged yet?
No. 2 kids,
Yep.
house, and no ring.
What do you want to say to him, Justine? He's listening right now. What's his name?
Oh, he's probably missed his opportunity.
Exactly.
What's his name, Justine?
Ben.
Benny.
Ben, come on, Ben. Just buy. You know what? It doesn't even have to be an engagement ring anymore, Ben. It is a sign of like love and commitment and the work that Justine, the important part of her life, she's given you. 2 beautiful children.
Yeah. I'd probably say no.
Yeah.
Just
Good
out of-
on you.
I agree.
Just to prove a point.
And you sound like such a great person. I'd marry you, Justine.
Thank you.
That would be illegal.
Well, yeah, I'm married, but if I broke up,
that
I'll
would
give
be
Justine
unfair.
a call.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Elon Musk, I've got to talk about him. He's doled out $35 million on a sprawling Texas compound for his various exes and 11 children.
What do you mean? Like you're putting more than one X on the compound?
Yes. No, but this is the thing. Only one ex has gone in.
I was going to say, do they want to be there?
Well, Grimes won't go in, but his original ex, Justine Wilson, she's
Willow.
thinking about it. But this is a huge, sprawling compound, so that's a mansion. And so you get that area, we can have this area. But the kids, I don't know if the kids are keen as well.
I mean, it's quite nice that in a perfect world, happy families, the kids just kind of play together in the middle.
Well, Nevada, Vivian, Griffin, Kai, Damien, and Saxon, they're his first 6 kids.
Damien.
And there's triplets in there. So Kai, Damien, and Saxon are triplets.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Vivian doesn't want anything to do with her dad. She changed her name just to get away from him, from her.
She's not moving in.
No, she's not moving in at all. So Grimes isn't either. So Grimes, they had that child. I don't even know how to pronounce that name. Then they had Exa Dark Siderel. And there's also a child called Techno Mechanicus. We all love a bit of techno, don't we?
And I love Mechanicus, or whatever that word was. Do you reckon there's kind of a calendar? Like at the ranch, there'd be a calendar where they all live, and it would have like a countdown clock for Dad's next rocket launch. And then they all have to get together. I know you're having a bit of fighting, and wife number 1 doesn't like 2 and 3 doesn't like 5.
Yeah.
But when Daddy sends a rocket, we all come together to watch. Countdown, please.
Yeah, and then everyone has to. I think because the rule in our house, and I hope they have it in their house as well, that everyone comes together for dinner.
Yeah.
Television's off, screens off, and everyone sits around the dinner table, and Daddy chants this.
USA! 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 Yes!
Yes! USA!
So, yeah, and so his latest children, Strider, Azure, and there's an unnamed one at the moment. They're in the house as well.
Oh, no,
so.
that kid, they've just renamed it USA.
USA.
It's USA.
It's called Donald.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
I mean, the greatest riddle is the shirt you're wearing so far this morning, Kate Ritchie.
Oh, that is...
Nice.
I like my shirt.
What is it?
There's
like
a
flock.
bit of embroidery on it, and I would it took Kate ages to put
I like
onto
this
that
shirt. Have a look. I mean,
A
I
lot
don't
of roses, a
know.
lot
I
of
feel like
embroidered flowers.
Can I say double denim today as well, Kate?
I am mad for double denim.
Yeah.
I like this shirt. My daughter was even staring at me as I left the room
No wonder.
this morning,
She
and
said,
I
I won't be here if you're wearing that when I get home.
This is sentimental. I took her to her first dancing class in this shirt. I even have a photo to prove it. It's actually from Spell.
Oh,
You know,
great.
Spell.
What's that?
Forget it.
Let's move on to the official riddle.
You have to be under one to buy stuff.
It's like, no, it's 10 years old, mate. This is me helping the environment.
Thank you. Thank you. On behalf of the trees and the planets and the earth, thank you. Here we go. You answer me even though I never asked you a question. What am I?
A phone.
Ryan James!
Riddle it just a little bit.
Good to have you listening during riddle time. That was a test to see if he was listening, Kate.
Well, I wasn't listening because I was sitting here being offended. And then looking at your ridiculous hoodie.
Oh, he has a flower on his top too.
He has a flower on his hoodie. And then you're dressed like a 4-year-old who dressed themselves.
No.
And you've obviously got those silly little man shorts on because you keep putting your hands up your shorts to pull them out of your crutch.
He has been as well, hasn't he?
Like
Well, they caught. The undies get caught.
Because you
don't
drivers.
Pull the shorts down.
No, you got huge drivers, mate. You got to maybe get those down a bit.
What, my legs?
Yeah.
Get a brief. Wear a brief. Everybody grow up and wear briefs.
Guys don't wear briefs,
Yeah, they
mate.
do. They do. Some do.
Hopefully we can keep riddle time brief.
It's not funny, Jess.
Not at the moment.
You use a knife to slice my head and weep beside me when I'm dead.
Cake.
No.
Oh.
What am I? You use a knife to slice my head and weep beside me.
Where? Yeah, I know.
It's a fruit.
Just a little bit.
One to Kate
She's
Ritchie.
back.
She's back.
Look who's
and
back.
she's better than ever. I stink while living but smell good when I'm dead. What am I?
I stink.
Oh.
I stink while living, but smell good when I'm dead.
It's a really good thinking music,
Beef.
isn't it?
Beef.
Don't laugh, Ryan James.
Cattle.
Because you're so close it doesn't matter.
Hamburger.
Oh.
That's pretty full on. If
Yeah.
the answer's beef.
Is it?
It's close.
Is it?
Well, it's
steak.
It's got to be a sausage or a
Pig. Bacon.
Pig.
Come on, pig! Getting riddle with it.
Na 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 na. Na na na
That
na
is
na na.
so. It's actually quite horrific,
make
that
it bacon
riddle.
sad.
Oh, stinky little pigs.
Mandy from Ascot. Hi, Mandy.
Good morning, guys. How are we?
Welcome back, Mandy. You've been on a big holiday. You got a riddle for us.
I'm still in the UK, but yeah, I'm on a big holiday.
Oh, I love you, Mandy.
Your commitment to riddle time is just extraordinary, Mandy. What time have you got over there?
So it is 9 o'clock at night. It's pitch black and it's freezing.
Perfect time to riddle then, isn't it, Mandy?
No, it is.
All
Right,
right.
here's my riddle. I have 4 legs but cannot walk. I have a back but no arms to talk. You use me every day but never thank me in any way. What am I?
Chair.
Kate Ritchie.
It's too easy.
I love you, Mandy.
get
Have
back to
have
it.
a great trip over there. Stay warm, Mandy.
Okay, we love you, Mandy. Have a great...
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
I've been bagging the old movies as a first date for a long time now. Not to mention, though, that I think with my first girlfriend, I would say one of our first dates where we really made out was in a movie, in a cinema.
Which is weird. It was Wolf Creek.
Back row of the cinema, you know what I mean?
I've always backed this up and you've brought me down
Yeah,
for
I have.
this, but I think it's great. And I understand you're not talking while the movie's on, but it gives you great conversation afterwards just to dissect the movie, thoughts on that actor. What do you think? The director? Do you reckon he'll go on to have success?
That's really boring conversation after a film on a first date. I remember I told you I was so keen on this girl and I said to her, we should go and see a movie. She said, love to. So we went along. It was a small cinema out of town, a 28-seater, and we watched The Passion of the Christ.
Oh.
Like, people were crying and leaving the cinema, and there I was on a first date thinking this was the right move forward.
Don't tell me how that ends, please.
I
I haven't
can't.
seen it yet.
Well, I can tell you how the relationship ended. It was crucified pretty quickly. It was a disaster. Oh,
but
my God.
re-emerged 3 days later.
They rolled the stone away and the big dog was back. Do you know, it was... And what they're saying in this article here is... Because I always poo-pooed you on it because I thought, you can't chat, you can't get to know each other, but there's something great, it says, about watching an emotional movie and having the chance to bond over that. Yeah. So if it's a movie that makes you cry or if it's a movie that makes you laugh, either way, putting both people on that emotional level is a great place to connect.
Yes.
So I reckon, I mean, as far as the movie goes, it's a great place to start with a bit of a handhold or a leg rub. Wouldn't you suggest?
Yeah, it is.
A drifting hand?
Well, it is. It's and that's why popcorn is so good.
What do you mean?
And if you are dumb enough to go on a date and buy 2 boxes of popcorn, it's silly. You just need the one, and that's where the touching of the hands come in. And you go, so I'm so sorry.
Where you cut a hole in the bottom of the popcorn.
You can see from their body language if they're keen to maybe go in again.
Tough one.
The bottom of the hole. That is that.
Has anyone actually ever done that? Has anyone done that?
No. You can't explain it on this show, really,
you
can you?
And I think people understand what we mean by a box of popcorn on your lap. Justin Timberlake did a song around it. But do you know what? I think the danger about popcorn always gets stuck in your teeth.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for that kiss afterwards at the cinema, everyone's got half a corn in their teeth.
Yeah.
It's a bit seedy, isn't it?
Yeah, but it smells so good as well. I just love going to the cinemas. It just makes you feel so good when you're forking out $14 for a large Coke.
And you finish up the film, you've had a large Coke, a giant popcorn and a choc top. You can't move, you've got indigestion.
The worst one, though, is the choc ices, you know, the choc tops, which is the choc tops.
Yeah.
Because when you're eating that in the dark, you don't know if you're dropping the chocolate onto your top.
No, you can't tell.
Which then melts onto your top. You have no idea until you get out.
You walk out and you've turned into a pig in 2.5 hours.
Fitzy's Friday advice going to the movies over the weekend.
Thanks, Farazi.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Now, I have always believed that if you find a fella who's got a dog and he loves his dog and he didn't buy the dog so he could go to the park and pick up, that they're a good person.
Okay.
Don't you think? Don't you think
dog
when
people,
you, when
yeah.
you, well, not necessarily dog people, maybe pets generally, but let's go with dogs, that the way that you see them love their dog, nurture their dog, feed their dog, you can transfer that into how they might be as a partner.
Okay, it's a little bit like being able to judge what someone's like in bed by what they're like on the dance floor.
Well, it's also...
Is that what you mean?
Do you do that?
Yeah, and I'm the worst dancer ever.
Well, I know. And that's the word on the street. I said that to you the other day.
Hang on a minute.
Well, it also shows responsibility. How good are they with responsibility?
Well, they're a parent,
which
aren't
could
they?
be a sign in the future that they could be a good father.
Yeah, I mean, look, give us a call, 13 24 10, if you look at your partner and you think he's so good with the dog, he'll be a good dad.
Yeah.
I tell you now, it doesn't correlate directly.
Right, okay, so you let us up the garden path.
But it will tell you, and this is what this study has said, if however you were parented will be the way that you treat your pet. So, for example, so your parenting styles is the way that you will treat your dog. So parents who adopt like low demands and low discipline and are very nurturing, that was the way that they were brought up in their house. Maybe it was a bit loose around the house. Their parents weren't very strict with discipline. There weren't repercussions and punishment. But then if you see someone who's super strict with their dog, they might even do one of those things where they have a dog and they've got those collars. I don't even know if they're illegal.
Oh, chokers.
I've got one on now. They hurt.
Yeah, you can zap it too.
You guys put it on me when I get to
No. It was BJ's advice. Under BJ's advice, she said, you know how to get him to do what?
No, well, it's the raising of the voice, isn't it? That's the big one. Because it's like it's telling a dog, sit down. But you sort of do it with the kids a little bit as well. When
you change your voice and they are like, Mum's just been nagging for an hour, but now she's serious.
See, my mate got a new dog and it's a puppy and it was whining all night long.
Yeah.
And then he found the solution by talking to some people and they went out the back. When it would whine at night, he would tip a bucket of cold water over it.
I see, that's crap.
Now, that lasted
That's
for
cruelty.
2 nights and it never whined again.
Yeah, but see, you can do it in other ways.
Are you suggesting that he came from a strict upbringing? Is that kind of like his parenting that he was brought up with is now being
I'm not saying
put
that
onto
mum
a
and
poor chocolate lab?
Well, mum and dad would. I can't imagine
They did that
poured.
to him as well,
maybe
yeah, in his
they
cot.
did pour cold water
Every time
over
he cried,
him.
just a bucket of water, soaked the blankets.
But the kind of parenting may have been, we've got to get to the bottom of this problem, rather than, you know what, dogs are meant to whine. Let him whine.
Yeah.
He's just a little puppy. He'll grow out of it, and things are a little bit more understanding.
Is it just your dog, though? Could it be your cat? Shannon in Liverpool, tell us about your partner and his cat.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
So I do agree with what you're saying. Like, my partner, when I first met him, I noticed that he was so nurturing and loving with his cat,
Yep.
and he's exactly the same as me.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, that's really cute. Do you get to curl up on the couch and purr and have a little pat? Does he pat you? He's loving, isn't
Sometimes
he?
we pretend, yeah.
We pretend. Sometimes we pretend.
Do you want to have kids with him, Shannon? Like, could you see him being a great father with the way that he looks after the cat?
Yeah, I always tell him that. I say, I think you're going to be a great father, so it's definitely on the cards.
Life in the fast lane, Shannon. I mean, Kate was on the show not long ago talking about one of her friends who knew how to ease a cat if it was purring, or I think cats get on heat a little bit too, and there was a technique where you could actually...
Oh, that's right,
you could
the dad.
rest the cat.
He told me on the soccer side.
Yes.
He said, we haven't slept. I've had to relieve the cat. Had to relieve the cat by massaging it in all.
Probably the best story I've ever heard on
But you
this
know
show.
what? The mum certainly gathered around and heard all the stories.
Can I be next?
Gosh.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Oh, I've got a dumb criminal story
Oh, here we
for
go.
you, but before I get to that, how have we not spoken about this week from Ermington?
What was it?
Well, it happened at the start of this week, sorry, but I can't believe... Have a listen to this story.
Unusual video just in of a car fire in Sydney's west. The sedan filmed burning from its engine on Betty Cuthbert Avenue at Ermington on Tuesday. But what happens next? A man, presumably the driver, approaches the car well alight with a slab of VB under his arm. He opens the driver door, smoke pouring out, instead deciding the back seat is better suited for his beer.
Does he like it warm?
His car was fully on fire, and he comes out of the liquor shop, Kate, and just puts his slab of VB in the back seat.
Of the burning car.
And people are yelling, "Get out of there! Get out of there!"
Just casually walks up.
He's going, well, I need to... This is quite heavy, this case. I need to put it down somewhere.
And if I'm going to fight the fire with a hose, I'm going to need hands on the hose. So what do we do? What do I do with my car?
Was he oblivious to the fire?
That's what it looks
Because wouldn't
like.
you be looking after your VB?
Well, he cares for his cans more than his car.
So how's this one? Robert Mank. They got a tip off the cops that Mankey had been...
Mankey was a bit on the bugle.
It's a shocking word, isn't it?
Mankey's such a great, what a great descriptive word. I can smell it.
Manky.
He's a property developer and oyster farmer, but they've gone to one of his properties in Greenwell Point.
Oh yeah, good oysters there.
And they found 41 marijuana plants in his place.
That's Manky.
And they said, well, Mankey, have you got any more? What if we go check your other place that you've got in Illawarra?
Freshly shut.
He said, I don't know what you're talking about. They went there and they found another 41. They've had 100 plants. Then his excuse was, I was experimenting with a gardening project. That's the only reason that they're there.
Which I guess makes sense.
Is he a scientist?
Well, he said to them, I can tell you, the soil's good. The soil's really good.
Kid I went to school with, his dad, he got tied up with Mr. Asia. And,
Who's Mr. Asia?
Well, the third underbelly was based on Mr. Asia.
Yeah,
he was a
that
guy
was Griffith,
importing.
out at Griffith.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's that one, is it?
But his dad ended up in a bit of trouble. He had sort of a plantation of marijuana the size of the SCG in Queensland. Anyway, he was away and a fire broke out on the property, and the manager of the farm rang the fire brigade. The fire brigade turned up. It's just plant's on fire. I think I might call the police.
My old man was a Sparky, Kate, from where we grew up, and Dad numerous times would have people say, "Can you just come over and put a couple of PowerPoints in my shed?" And Dad would get over there and the guy would go, "I need 23 PowerPoints."
In the shed, in the attic.
And Dad would go, "Mate, I can't do that.
I love tomatoes."
Oh, you'd make a fortune, though. How expensive is a PowerPoint?
Oh,
but don't scrimp on them. If you're building a house, I know you don't want to spend the money, but there's nothing worse than looking back and thinking, I can't put my hairdryer in.
No, I can't. Can't plug it in there.
I've got to shave in the hallway because I just wasn't going to spend X amount on the PowerPoint.
Get Mick Fitzgerald. He'll put all of the PowerPoints
and he won't ask any questions.
Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.